Hello guys, welcome again. And throughout this video, throughout this series, I'm going to show you how to test your APIs by using Postman. So for that reason, I'm going to give you an example of the RESTful web service, and this one is going to include. I'm going to include all these methods that we just discussed in the previous video. And for example, we need to use the get mapping. On this one, we can use, for example, public string get user. And then we have to return. For this time, I'm going to return just a string. You can return the form. You can convert the format of JSON or XML by using Postman. But here, let's say get user was called, for example. And then another method we want to use is post mapping, and this is public string. We want to create a user. Okay, create a user, and then here we return create was maybe triggered. Okay, and the next, let's say we want to update the user, which we have to use this annotation called put mapping, and then we public. Let me copy this. Update the user. Update it, and then we want to click delete the. Let's say we want to delete the what? Delete the user. Just a crude application we're creating here. So we delete here, delete mapping, and here we return user deleted user, and here we return deleted. Okay, these are a few methods we're going to use, and on this method, the get mapping annotation, this get mapping annotation here, Spring Boot, it's used to map the HTTP GET request to a specific method in a controller class. So it is specialized for the request mapping annotation, specifically designed for handling GET request, as I showed you here. So if you want, let's say for example, you want to use this URI, and then you want to get user, you have option of taking this, cut this, and then we use it here, and this should be a string. Should be a string, and this is when you want to get all. Let's say you want to get all users. If you want to get a user, then you have to be one user. And if let's say you want to get, let's say you want to get, let's copy this, and let's say we want to get user. Let's say user. This is user class, project class here, and then we want to get user. We want to get user by ID. By ID. So here we have to return. We have to pass the ID on this allocation. We have to pass slash braces and then ID. And then on this ID, that ID, we have also to target it here on our method by using another annotation called path variable, and then we pass the ID here as a string ID, and then with a long user ID. You see, this is how you want to get a specific user. But for this time, we just want to return this the basic string, and for that reason, I don't have to do this. We're going to do that later on. And so again, you have this post mapping. It's an annotation in the Spring framework, also in Spring Boot, that is used for what? For HTTP post requests and this specific method in a controller class. So it is specialization of the request mapping annotation, specifically designed for handling the post request. You know, when you want to create something, or when you are sending data, you are sending, but this you request, you receive the response, but this you are sending, but still you also have to get a response. How what you send, you have to get the response whether it was successful or failed. So when you annotate the method with the post, it indicates that the method should be invoked when the HTTP post request is received for specific URI path, and it simplifies the mapping post request by providing a more concise and readable way of defining the request handling. So this is just an example of. We are going to go more into details when we create these applications, and we also have the put mapping. The put mapping is an annotation in Spring framework or Spring Boot that is also used for HTTP put request, and a specific method in a controller class. It's specialization of request mapping. So this class here, so it's more specific because you start with this URI, and then when you use this post mapping, then we can also pass the ID, just like I showed you here. I showed you about when you're using the get get mapping. So whenever you annotate the method with put mapping, so as I say, it indicates that the method should be invoked when the HTTP put request is received for this specific URI path. So it's also simplify the mapping of put requests by providing a more concise and readable way of defining the request handling. So another one we have here, we have this delete. The delete is also an annotation in Spring framework or or Spring Boot, and it's used to map the HTTP delete requests to a specific method in a controller class. It is also specialization of what? Of request mapping annotation, and it's specifically designed for handling delete requests. So when this is used, it indicates that the method should be invoked when the HTTP delete request is received for the specified URI path. So it simplifies the mapping of delete requests by providing a more concise and readable way of find the request handling. And this is just example of this method, but you can also pass the parameter on it. And this is little explanation about this. These are this method which they bind the method to the HTTP, either get, put, update, and delete. Thank you guys, and remember subscribe. Next, we're going to talk about how to produce this on the Postman, using Postman as to test our APIs. Thank you guys.